Yo, what's up, everybody? Thank you for joining me on the 5th episode of Weed Jobs. Today, I'm joined by Viondy Merisma from Massachusetts. He is the founder of the Green Torch company. And today, we're just going to be talking a little bit about him, how he got started, and what he does at the Green Torch. Viondy, how's it going, bro?
What's going on, my man?
I'm doing great, brother. I see you got your hands busy over there.
Oh yeah, roll me up through something, something. You know what I'm saying? Start this podcast right. You know what I mean? First joint of
What's up?
the day.
Nice, man. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, bro. So are you from Massachusetts?
Yeah, so I'm originally born and raised Waltham, Massachusetts. But my bloodline is I'm Haitian. So my parents, I'm first generation American. My parents
Okay.
are from Haiti, from Jeremy. So yeah, man.
Word. I gotta do it, Sapase.
Yeah, Mapulene,
Yeah.
Milan.
One
So
love to
yeah,
the Haitians,
man.
bro. Gotta respect the Haitians, man. First independent black nation out of colonialism. Y'all don't get
You
enough
know
respect.
that. Yeah, but that's how it goes, man. When the world alienates the country for so long and completely depletes them from their resources, what you think is gonna happen? You know what I'm saying? And it's a cool world, but like like that's how it goes, man. World's a fucked up place.
All they doing is making y'all stronger because the y'all a lot of y'all are killing it.
Yeah, that's how it is. You know that.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. So I'm from Waltham. How so you want to know like just
Yeah, yeah.
me
You're
in
you're
general?
you're,
Yeah, man.
you're
So
from
from
yeah, you can tell us your story, man. Tell us where you're from. What were you doing before cannabis? You can lead us right there.
what was I doing before Canada? So
Yeah.
Watch City, Waltham, Mass. Um, I guess I'm an athlete first. So
Okay.
played basketball and football in high school. I played basketball and football in college.
Nice.
I was
Where'd you go
better.
to school at?
I went to AIC, American International College.
Okay.
Yeah, so small Division 2, NE10. I was way better at football than basketball. I was an All American. All those good accolades. Um, and then I had a chance to, I got the chance to play pro. So I was with Tennessee Titans 2014, and
Oh, word. That's awesome.
yeah. So did the pro thing for a little
What
for a real
position were
real
you?
short
Were you
time.
D line?
No, left tackle, O
Left
line.
tackle? Okay.
Yeah, O line, O line.
Oh, guardian. You
Um,
was the guardian. You had the blind side.
yeah, so that was cool, man. That was cool, man. That was cool. Like from going to AIC to the league was dope as fuck. I'll do that I'll do it over again a million times without a doubt. So that was cool.
That's great. So it
Um,
sounds like you had a real positive experience with football.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah. That's the thing though. Football is the reason why I'm here, and it's the craziest thing. So right after the Tennessee, I got released, and then I got a call by the San Jose SaberCats, an AFL team down in San Jose. So
Okay.
I was like, yeah, hell yeah, I'm heading down to the Bay. Went down to the Bay. I was out there for a while. And as soon as I touched down, right? I touched down May 5th, and this was the Mayweather Pacquiao fight, right?
Oh,
So I
okay.
touched down. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I gotta check out, the dispensaries and shit. So I check out the dispensaries, right? And I went to Elemental Wellness, right, downtown San Jose. And I was out there, and I was like, yo, listen, man, I'm here, I'm balling with the team, and I'm trying to do something on the side too, because let's backtrack to me in college. Obviously I was smoking. A couple of my boys were growing,
Okay.
and I wasn't, like I was in the grow room, but I wasn't like in the grow room. You know what I'm saying? I was more like, oh, this is how you do this is cool. You know what I'm saying? I was just there for fun. You know what I mean? And I was like, you know what, man? Like, when I was in San Hall, I was like, yo, this might be a time for me to, you know what I'm saying, kind of leverage my status of what I'm doing and try to get in one of these grow offs. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like actually understand the business.
Right.
And that's what I did. So I kind of did my externship there. But the fact the reason I couldn't like they did it kind of they weren't supposed to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like they weren't supposed to do it because I wasn't from there. You know what I mean?
Oh, you
But
weren't from the state.
yeah, I went from the state, so I wasn't. It was weird. Like the laws then was kind of weird, and like I wasn't able to really, I wasn't able to really be in there. If I was, they put me in there anyway. So
Okay.
that was a really cool experience, man. Just kind of understanding the tricks and trade out there because like out west is they've been doing it for a long period of time. So you know what I'm saying. So by the time I came back to Massachusetts, I was like, oh man, like I kind of, you know what I'm saying? I got a pretty good grip at this. And then so
How long were you out there?
I was only there for a year.
Okay.
So spent a year there and then came back. As soon as I came back, I talked to my guy Mike Whitaker. Dude, Mike Whitaker, right? He is the man. He's the one that literally. This dude is the one that literally got me jobs, got me cannabis related jobs everywhere. I worked as a patient specialist in Greenleaf compassionate care in Rhode Island because of him because he was the GM, and then Pure Oasis in Boston, the first black owned retail dispensary in Boston. He was the GM there, hooked me up there as a security manager job. Then went back to my city, where I was the store manager for Cannon Care Docs, which is a certification type of retail establishment. So it's like if you want your medical card, you'll come to us. We have a doctor, and we'll put you into the system. So that's what I was doing. So yeah, man, like
so you
bounced
worked in
around.
a lot of different verticals in the
Yeah. Went there. Then I went up to Kennewick, Washington. So I went to Washington State. So I was playing the IFL and with the Tri-City Fever. And then, but when I went to Washington State, I kind of went more underground. I met like a local grow-up crew, and I was kind of just working with them. So like I've been in both levels. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of like the traditional market, and then the legal market. I shouldn't say legal market, but the market that we're living in now. So yeah, man, I bounced around, man. I bounced around. You know what I'm saying? Met a lot of people. Met just. I just I wanted to experience as much as I possibly could until I said, I got my spot. Let's make a run for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at now. So we have a spot in Waltham, 104 Pine Street, that we're working with the city of Waltham into obtaining a cannabis license from the state. So you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's where we're at right now. But yeah, man, it's been a ride, bro.
That's incredible, man. So
yeah.
Before we move on, I wanted to ask you about when you said underground in Washington. What do you mean by that?
Like it's traditional market, man. You know what I'm saying? Not the this wasn't the dispensary. You know what I'm saying? It was it was one of those, one of those things.
Got you.
But that's the thing, though. Like that's where you're gonna find. That's the industry. That's where you're gonna find the best players in the industry. That's where you're gonna find the best genetics. That's where you're gonna find probably the best growers. You know what I'm saying? Well, some of the best, majority of the best growers are still in the traditional market. Just because you're looking at all the players, the big players now. It's multi-billion-dollar companies. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, if you don't have $1 million in liquidated assets, well then good luck. You're gonna need investors. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of hard to go to investors and be like, yo, listen, I've been growing for X amount of years, and then you're like, all right, where you been growing at? Oh, my crib. You know what I'm saying? Which the crazy thing is, it's like, well, those are the guys you want. You know what I'm saying? Those guys have been doing it for a while. It's like, so, yeah, but yeah, it's all messed up, man. It's all messed up. But you know, it's the Wild West. That's
I
how
got
it
you.
is.
Right. So I definitely want to hear about what you're doing at the Green Torch, but I kind of wanted to know what was your relationship with cannabis before you got into the industry. You
A
know,
relation
now
with
we're in
cannabis.
this new age where the prohibition is over, but like, what was your relationship with it before?
Shit, the prohibition hit. So my older brothers, they're 8 years older than me, and there's two of them, they're twins. They're 8 years older than me, and they were smoking since high school, middle school. So I've been a part of raids. You know what I'm saying? I've been that's the whole nine. Going to my brothers upstate. Like, damn, what you in for? Dime bag. It's like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Whoa, whoa, you feel me? And then the the misconception where it's like people are telling me that my brothers are addicts or my brothers are drug dealers. I'm like, drug dealers. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, they play chess. Like,
Right.
what are we saying? You know what I'm saying? Like they no, they literally traveled around the world and playing chess tournaments. Like, they're chess players. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? And it's like, and I'm looking at my
You
teachers
don't
just
meet too
tell me
many of
this.
those.
Yeah, and I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, my teachers tell me this. I'm like, guys, like, I go home, like, like when I was a kid, like, I used to go home and I'll play, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll play them in chess while they're smoking, and they're literally smoking. Like, I'm pretty good at chess. But, they're obviously they're on another level. And I'm like, you
Mm,
ain't gonna tell me that these guys are bad people. They're nonviolent. And you know what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about here? But yeah, man, it's that whole misconception. And then my parents, you know what I'm saying, being Haitian, being straight from Haiti. Let me tell you, it was weed was crack cocaine. You
trust me.
you ain't you ain't tell you ain't telling the difference. Nah, it's
Yeah,
crack
my
cocaine.
mom's Jamaican, and people always be like, "Oh yeah, Rastas and all that." Nah,
Yeah, nah,
that's
nah.
that is not Jamaican. That's like a subculture. That is not
Right.
culture on the wide. It's Jamaicans are conservative, so you talk about weed or Rastas, they not having it.
Facts, facts. Yeah, man. So yeah, man, and it's funny too because me doing it in Waltham, it's kind of ironic because it's like, well, the same police officers that I got talked to are some of the same ones that what I'm saying broke in my house. You know what I'm saying when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying, and it's like, well, shit. Here we are. Like now here we are. You know what I'm saying? Now we're in a $1 trillion industry, baby boy. So what's up? You know what I mean? And it's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's crazy how there's nothing like. Could you just imagine yourself going down for 5 years and then you getting out and then you going to a store that looks like an Apple store, but it's for cannabis?
I
I don't
couldn't
know. I don't
imagine
know if
that.
I, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know personally if I could personally handle that. I'm like, yo, you locking me up for this, and y'all
Right.
motherfuckers make this much money? Oh, nah, there's something wrong. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Do you know
it's
anybody who was personally locked up for cannabis?
yeah, whole bunch of my friends, a whole bunch of my friends.
Hey, Von, you cut out?
I knew
There we go.
I know
A couple of cats down in Florida that got bagged.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And this was 2 years ago. They got bagged in
Wow.
Broward. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, damn. I'm looking. I'm like, bro, if you're up here, that one never happened.
Right.
So yeah, man, it's definitely a sensitive subject, man. I feel like that it's a sensitive subject for anybody, especially a minority trying to get in this business. Because let's be real, who was really getting attacked?
Yeah, the numbers here in Pennsylvania are pretty staggering for the people who were getting arrested for cannabis. But it's a good thing we're in a new age. I definitely
Right.
have family members who were affected by the prohibition too. So I could have just imagined how they feel, and that it's basically like having a Heineken now.
Right. Like
Um,
you got penalized for being a step ahead, which is
right.
crazy. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, man. But yeah, we here though, so
Yeah.
that's all that matters.
So how was I know you played professional football. Did you use cannabis at all while you were playing? I know
Oh yeah.
they're trying to. I hear they're using it as like alternative medicines.
Oh
So
yeah.
playing in the NFL comes with injuries.
Know that all the time. Like you have obviously you playing injured. Like I feel like any athlete is definitely playing through something. You know what I'm saying? I feel like every athlete's playing. I don't think there's ever any athlete that's playing 100%, especially in the season. Especially after preseason training camp, yeah, you're definitely banged up. So it was crazy because I remember I messed up my hip flexor during camp, and as soon as I went down, the trainer came through with some pills, and I was like, "What's this?" He was like, "Yeah, take them. You'll feel better." And I'm like, "Oh, nah, G, I can't do that." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna take. Just me personally, I'm not a. I'm just afraid to take pills, man. You know what I'm saying? There's just
Yeah.
something about pills to me. It's like, nah, man, something ain't right. You know what I mean? And it was just crazy how quick it was. I'm like, damn, you guys have a pharmacy back there. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I'd rather just smoke, bro. Honestly, like like let me smoke. Let me let's do some rehab. Let me try to get back naturally instead of taking something where I know it's gonna affect me in the long run. You know what I mean? Like people popping aspirin, Tylenol before giving like, bro, like that shit's gonna kill you. You know what I mean? Like it's cool now, but that's neither here or there. But yeah, man, just everyone burns, man. Like everyone
So
burns. It's just
was
one of
it
those things.
was it I know that they're not testing players anymore for cannabis. Was that a concern while you were playing?
So during camp, I got tested, right? I got tested, but before that, I wasn't smoking. Obviously I can't smoke because I don't want to lose opportunities.
Right.
So I stopped cold turkey. For my pro day on, I stopped after my pro day. I was like, I can't burn no more. So
Okay.
stopped cold turkey, and then I got tested first week of training camp. And then after you get tested, you're not gonna get tested for that whole year, even if you get trained. So I was like, so so before you weren't able to afford cannabis was kind of like you know before they stopped testing the cannabis. After you got tested, you knew who was good after you got tested. Like, yeah, bro, I'm about to burn it down right after. That's the fact. I
Right.
was like, yo, that's the fact. Like, yo, I'm about to burn it down, boy. I'm chilling now. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
Cool, man. So you played in the league, then you went into the cannabis industry, kind of doing like your internships. So how did how did the Green Torch come about?
So I'm a pretty big I love comic books. Love comic books. I love like anime. Like I'm super nerdy like that. And the whole time of me working out west, I was like, yo, I have to figure out a way to bring this back my way. So you know what I mean? This was the business major in me. I was like, I be like, I see this opportunity. I need to try to monetize. You know what I'm saying? How can I monetize this opportunity? And spoke to my boy, my one of my partners, Calvin Colindres, Gordon Dorson, Alex Morrissey, Kevin Young, Matt Dyer. We all chopped it up. We're like, yo, listen, like, can we get a spot? Bang, we got a spot. One like the biggest thing down, we got a spot, right? Now it's kind of like, like, what next? You gotta go to the city. You know what I'm saying? So what we did before before we went to the city, I started a political action committee called the Watch City Cannabis Committee, right? And what we lobbied for was inclusion into the industry in regards of welfare. So we wrote some bylaws that the city passed, which promotes Waltham residents getting in first as opposed to out of state people, out of city people coming in and trying to take over.
Wow, that's
So
incredible,
that's the
man.
first thing. Yeah. So that's the first thing we did. I was like, we have to make this about Waltham, because like me in general, like I still give back. Like I run football clinics. It's called the Watch City program. So I run street football clinics. I run street basketball clinics. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm very proactive in my community when it comes to youth development in like per se. So that's that's kind of what I do. Um, so I was like, you know what, man? Like if in our whole thinking, right? Our whole thinking, because all my guys are from Waltham except Alex Morris. Alex Morris is from Gloucester. He's the only dude that's not from Waltham in our crew, or in our company, owner of our company. So we were like, yo, how can we use cannabis to fund everything else? That was my thing. Like, if you're telling me I can, if I can wake up, go to my grow up, wrap in my grow up, go to the field, weight room, film room, I'll do that every day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You tell me I can do this and coach, and I could fund everything through my business. It's a wrap, bro. What you mean? Non-profit beat, baby. That's what we're doing all day. Like
Right.
that's my passion. You know what I'm saying? So my whole thing is what our whole thing is. We're trying to use cannabis to fund youth programs. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's kind of and saying that to people is kind of like, oh, like you're gonna use weed to fund your programs, and it's like, well, if I was brewing beer, you guys wouldn't say anything. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like if I had a brewery, this was I could fund the baseball programs, I could fund the basketball programs. You guys won't even blink an eye. So it's like you're telling me I can possibly make more money. You know what I'm saying? And there's a dilemma. Nah, G, I don't. Nah, that doesn't make sense to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I just think it's really cool that you were able to start this political action committee and like really get involved
Mm-hmm.
and influence your community. Like you don't really hear that too much. Like I don't know. I might know one person who started a pack, but those
Right.
things kind of seem like unattainable. I would say for like the average person.
They're actually super easy. I just went to the city hall and I was like, hey, I want to make a little action committee. And she's like, all you gotta do is sign this paper. And I was like, this is it? I was like, done. I was like, all right, we in. And that was my first time. Like, I've never been political in my life. This was my first time being political. So me, like, it was. I'm not afraid to speak in public, but I was never really given the opportunity to speak in front of like the mayor, in front of the selectmen. You know what I'm saying? In front of like all the councilors. I just never had that opportunity. So it was really cool, man. It was really cool to see. It was cool to see the sway. Some people, some councilors was like, yeah, I don't know if we're for it. And then as time went on, they're like, all right, yeah, we kind of warming up to this. So that was the illest part about the whole thing. I was like, oh, this political shit is crazy. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
So it wasn't about like complaining and
Nah.
writing Facebook posts. It was actually going to City Hall, meeting the people,
Yeah,
getting involved in the process.
you gotta talk. You gotta talk to people, especially like the our biggest opposers is the church community, and for obvious reasons. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like just the conversations back and forth with them, you know what I'm saying? Again, some of them were like, well, I kind of see both sides. And that's all I care about. Just look at my side with an open mind. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Just take the good from it. You know what I mean? So that's kind of yeah, it was a trip, man. It was
So
cool.
how long was that process from you starting the pack to your city action or
a full
actually
year.
implementing the law?
A full year.
Okay.
So it happened, yeah, a full year. So 2019 to 2020, full year, fighting,
Y'all got to
going
work.
to City Hall, 11 o'clock in the City Hall, in City Hall. Like, damn, you guys are still going with this meeting? Like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was, yeah. It was
That's
wild,
good.
bro.
So once you were able to get the law passed that stated that the Waltham residents had to be the first in, what was your next step?
So the next step was, all right, we need to find funding. The funding has to come in because in order to build out our project, so it's gonna cost us like what, 700,000 to build
So
everything out.
what does the Green Torch do?
So okay, so we are a micro business. So we're purely cultivation and manufacturing. We are non-retail. Okay, so we're just suppliers to every other cannabis establishment. So
Okay.
what the micro means we only get up to a tier 1 cultivation, which tier 1 is up to 5,000 square foot of a flowering canopy. So it's a super mom and pop shop. You know what I'm saying? Like super. Like we're not talking about like a 10,000 square foot facility. Not that. We're talking about super low key, which is cool for us because again we're owner operators. You know what I'm saying? So what you see is what you get. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Well, obviously we're gonna hire people for like deliveries and stuff like that. But as opposed to like our main core of what we do, like our team is set. You know, so
Got you. So what made you guys decide to go that route as opposed to trying to get like a huge operation going?
money. It's all financial. It's really financials and what I'm comfortable with. You know what I'm saying? Like what we're comfortable with. So like a 5,000 square foot canopy, like that's something like could I do that alone? Yeah, it'll just be like I won't see you. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll be in the lab the whole every day, all day. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to like, all right, well, I have 4 other people now. Now we're taking shifts. There's something we can do. So there's something we can do and do everything else we're stating that we're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Like so, it's kind of like as opposed to such a bigger facility. There's obviously there's bigger cost. There's more things that can go wrong. You know what I'm saying? And I just like in order for me to get in this industry, I was like, yo, but I have to be realistic with myself and what my capabilities are. And what I feel comfortable with is something small. You know what I'm saying?
That's smart, man. So were there any major hurdles after getting approved from the city, or any like barriers that you saw?
So that's the thing. Like we're still not approved by the city yet.
Okay.
So what the problem is our location. It We have a green zone in Waltham, right? On like areas where it's like, you can have a cannabis establishment only in this area. We're not in that area.
Okay.
But again, we're non-retail. So it's like, yeah, we still have to get a traffic study. Like we have to spend money on the traffic study, which you all know there's no traffic's gonna change level with us being there. You know what I'm saying? Like realistically, we're kind of we're hiding in plain sight. You know what I mean? But just going through the variances alone, that's tough because you have to get those variances lifted. You have to get each individual variance lifted. So that's where that's where we're at right now with it. So
Okay.
hopefully, you know what I'm saying. So again, like we're still not in the clear yet, not in the clear yet by a long shot. But again, it's more it's one of those things where it's like we have a facility that we're comfortable with, and like until we get the letter that's saying like, yo, you guys can't do it here, then we'll move on. But as of right now, we're sticking with our guns. We're going we're going the long route for sure.
Okay. So So you guys are growing the cannabis. How involved are you in it? And I heard you say you would be in the lab. Do you grow it yourself?
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. So you want to check out the room?
Yeah, let's see it.
Come on. So this is the room right here.
Wow, nice. Those plants look beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So for this run, I ran 200 gallon pots. So I work in a farm in the summertime, and I literally took their field soil and then I inoculated it myself, and then now we have what you see here. So
But when you say
this first,
inoculated, what does that mean?
so like my growing my cultivation method is natural farming. So what I do is I kind of go in the forest. I capture the indigenous microorganisms that are already in that forest, that's making that forest thrive, and then I bring it back into my own little ecosystem. You know what I'm saying? So realistically, what I'm doing is I'm just taking that engine that drives the forest and I'm bringing it here. You know
Oh,
what I'm saying?
that's
So
that is
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. So super regenerative. Like I don't I don't waste anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I literally don't waste anything. Everything is recycled. So it's night and day, man. Like the trichome production, the yield, just everything. Like it's just night and day.
Okay.
I'll never go back to like bottle nutrients. Never go back to that.
Bottle nutrients. Could you explain to us what that is?
So like like your general hydroponics and stuff like that. And again, like some people have success in it, but I will never knock. I'll never knock somebody for doing what they're comfortable with doing. But me personally, like I just, you know what I'm saying, like chelated salt, like you know what I'm saying, like
Right.
it's just not for me. You
So
know what
for
I mean?
anyone watching who doesn't know, hydroponics is growing cannabis or plants without soil. It's just using,
Yeah. Look,
right?
well, general like the actual like those type of companies like the general hydroponics like those like the bottle nutrient companies. I know guys, I know people, not just the guys, I know ladies and gentlemen that grow hydro, but grow hydro in like a natural farming way. So like there's some really great hydro growers out there. But me personally, I just couldn't do it just because like when you grow hydro, bro, it's like you have to be on it. If you miss a feeding, if you miss anything, the whole system goes down. You know what I'm saying? So like I feel like people that are super schedule oriented, those are the best people to grow hydro. Me, like I'm not schedule oriented. You know what I'm saying? Like
Set it and forget it.
yeah, it's like it's kind of like like there's more wiggle room when you go soil. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like there's just more wiggle room. Like with hydro, hell no, ain't no wiggle room. So you got to be on top of
Right. So can you tell
it.
us
Yeah.
what we're seeing here? Like what you got going?
Okay. What we see right here. So this bed right here is Dave Billings people from Syndicate Seed Company. So these are the frost comets. Over here in this bed is Crockett Family Farms. So this is the Tangy Land, and actually I have a Tangy Land right here.
You said Candyland?
Tangy Land,
Tangy. Okay.
yeah, Tangy Land, and then this bed right here, that I gotta raise this light up. These motherfuckers are growing on me. But this right here is the Soul Fire bed. So I got Bad and Bougie and Great Spody growing in this bed. And I'll show you my last bed.
What was the second one you said?
Great Spody.
Grape Spody? Okay.
Yep, from Soul Fire Garden. And then
Is it Bad
these
and Bougie?
these
Does that have any affiliation with Amigos?
I think so. I have to. It has
Okay.
to. um, this bed right here is by fully cooked seed company by a guy named High Grade Herb, and this right here is the rigor mortis. And again,
Okay.
this is a Kendrick Lamar. I feel that he named the rigor mortis after Kendrick Lamar.
All right, so I'm gonna guess
But
that's the indica.
yeah, yep,
Okay.
yep. These are indica varieties. Those ones are these. So the last two beds are sativas, and these ones are more of a hybrid.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you got rolled up there?
Right here, I got this is actually from my boy, from one of the owners, Kevin Young. Kevin gave me some of this. This is the triangle kush that he had. So yeah. This isn't my stuff. This is my boys.
Okay.
Yeah. And
So
again, man, like
your
if
setup
you're
is. Do you have to have like a? Is there any like regulations that you have to have in there?
so with this setup, right? I have I have less than 12 plants in here, right? But they look huge, but I top them. You know what I'm saying? So like right here, I topped this. I topped this bad Larry, so you can see that stem, and then you can see all the everything branching out. That's just one plant. So one, two, three, four. So there's four plants in each bed.
When you
And
say you
then
topped it, what does that mean?
so what do you do when you're topping, right? It's kind of like it's like an energy system. So once the energy shoots up, if you clip the earliest growth, what it does is it branches like that energy stops and it branches out into two more branches. So then you have two more spots, two more hot spots for buds.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a great way to manipulate the plant. So
Right.
it's a lot of them. Yeah. Like I feel like managing a canopy, like this is a canopy, managing a canopy is a lot of manipulation.
Okay.
Like
So
whether you're like stretching it, bending it, or you're actually like cutting off the growth tips, yeah, whole bunch of stuff.
okay. Could you educate us a little bit about the system that you have?
Oh yeah, so this honestly is as basic as it comes. You know, I have my exhaust here, my lights, everything is on a timer. So right now this room is 18 hours on, 6 hours off because it's veg. And then I got my intake with the HEPA filter, obviously. So whatever I'm bringing out, or whatever air I'm bringing from outside, it does, it gets cleaned out. It comes in here. Got my fan over here.
Okay.
And
So
I got
why is
these.
it important to clean the air out?
Oh man, I don't. You never know what's out there, man. You don't want like. I don't want any terrible pathogens coming in or like like any person that's doing anything wild outside, like gas leaks or anything crazy, you just don't want that coming in. So
Okay.
it's filtration system, like your ventilation system is everything. But your filtration system with water is everything too. You know what I'm saying? So like I get my water from a well. You know what I mean? Like some people get it from some people get a plumber, hook up filters to the water sources. That's cool too. But again, man, like especially like being in the city, like water is just it's tough, man. It really is,
So
especially with 20 gallons. It's
do you
tough.
water them yourself or it automatically gets
I
watered?
like hand watering. Like everything here is like I like doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like I just don't trust automated. The only automated things I trust is for my light.
Okay.
That's the only thing automated I like doing.
So
Like,
you're a
the
really
light.
hands-on guy.
Yeah, for sure.
You're
Oh
really
yeah,
cultivating this thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So this is it right here.
That's
And
cool.
I can so I'm gonna actually flower these. Well, one of them is actually flowering already, which is kind of crazy. But
And that's
I'm gonna be flowering these in a week. So next week I'm gonna switch the lights on. 12 hours on, 12 hours off, and then they're gonna stretch even more. So I'm gonna have to bend them, and then I'll send you a pic. I'll send you a pic of how it looks because it's gonna look.
You say you're
completely
flowering
different.
them. That means that the buds will sprout on them.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. So how long does
Exactly.
it take from when you plant it to it being able to produce buds? And once they produce buds, are they done, or you have to regrow them, or how does that work?
Once I harvest them, once I chop them up, I'm gonna hang them, right? Shut up all the lights, hang them probably for about a week and a half, and then the curing process comes in. So I hang them, then I cut off all the dead leaves, cut off all the fan leaves, kind of trim them up, make it look nice, and then jar them. After I jar them, then you burp them. So all burping is literally unscrewing the mason jar, kind of shaking it up a little bit, letting air circulate through, and then closing it back up.
Gotcha.
So yeah. The curing
That's
process
interesting.
in itself though is kind of, a lot of people have their own tricks to the trade. So like it's kind of like pick your poison. I feel like when it comes to like cultivating in general, it's pick your poison. You know what I'm saying? I should say pick your poison, but pick how you're gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Like some people, you know what I mean? Some people wet trim. Some people as soon as they cut it, as soon as they harvest, they'll trim it right there. Me, I don't like wet trimming. I mean that's me. But again, like it's kind of like to each their own. You know?
Okay. You like the whole foods of cannabis.
Yeah, yeah. If you want to say that, yeah, for sure.
Okay. So how much how much in weight can that produce?
How much weight can this produce? It depends. It depends on genetics. It depends on your lighting. Like it's like you want to get like a gram per watt, or like if you get like 1.5, 2 grams per watt, that's super good. But again, man, it's this there's too many variables to be like, all right, I'm gonna pull like 5 pounds, 6 pounds, 7 pounds out of this room. You know what I'm saying? Like there's just too many variables, man. It really is.
Okay.
But my guess, at least 5, at least 4. You know what I'm saying? 4, 3 around there. I don't know. It could be 7. It could be 8. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, if something goes wrong, it could be just 1. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
How long's
it's
the whole
it's
how long's the whole process?
so I let them veg out. Well, I let these ones veg out a lot more just because I wanted to use these in future projects. So I kept these in veg since when March now, right?
Okay. So a lot of us
Since
are new to the industry. So what does veg mean?
So your vegetative state. So what this is in now? Like your vegetative state is kind of like the beginning stage, and
Okay.
then when you want to flower, right? The 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 key into flowering is the lighting, right? So in veg, you can keep the lights on for 24 hours. You can keep the lights on for 18 hours a day, right? But as soon as you switch those lights, as soon as you turn the lights off for more than 11 hours, they're gonna start to flower. Like genetically, they're gonna say, all right, it's time for me to produce my flowers. It's time for me to produce my pollen, whether it's a male or not, for it to survive.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
you're
like,
a scientist, bro. There's a lot of science that goes on in this.
yeah, it's a lot of reading. It's a lot of reading, and it's a lot of going to like conferences, like it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. I read all the time. Like, I'm an avid read. I'm an avid soil reader. Like I read a lot about soil. You know what I'm saying? Which is it definitely helped me out a little bit.
Okay.
I should say. Yeah.
So I know you
So
said
yeah.
that you filter the air going in. Do you have to filter the air coming out?
Yeah. So boom, man. So that one right there brings the air in. This one brings the air out. But because it's in veg, I didn't put a carbon filter in. Like when as soon as I flower these, I'm gonna put a carbon filter in to kind of reduce the smell. Right here. So this is the
Okay.
carbon filter, yeah. Then I'm gonna put like the mesh so it can reduce the smell when I flower. So
What
yeah.
would a setup like this cost? And how much
Um.
is the electric bill?
Well, I go with Cobb LEDs, so the electric bill isn't that high. So like, I would say like 150 a month,
Oh, that's not
150,
bad.
yeah, like that goes around there, 150, 175 a month. But like your inline fans are gonna probably run you about like 40 to $60, depending on which kind you get. The light is the most expensive part. The lights are like these timbers were 900, and then these small cobs, those cost me about like these like 120, 120, 200, 200. But yeah, so if you have two racks, you can set you're good. If you have 2,000, you're good. You, you can set yourself up with a tent or something like that, or like
Okay.
a small room. Yeah.
Do you have any buds that you could show us that you've grown?
Oh, everything's gone, bro. Every
Okay. Yeah, the audio cut out, but it should come back. Let's see.
Bye.
Okay, I can hear you now. You cut out for a second.
Yeah. No, I said like around June, July, when these flower, will be good.
Okay. And
Actually, I might have a little bit. Oh, hold on. Actually, I
so
might have
when did you plant those?
in September.
September. So September until July. That's how long the whole process takes.
Yeah, but again, I took a lot longer in the veg process with those because again, I want like I stress test them. I want to see how they do in certain conditions. And, you know what I'm saying? So like I'm I'm kind of I'm kind of going towards the path of breeding because that's where the game is. The game is genetics, right? So again, if you're breeding for something, right, like you have to like take your time and like you have to really take notes, like have my notebook full of notes on what I given it, how it reacted to what I was giving it, and like you just got to know what you're working with as a base. So when you go on, when you cross it with other things, you'll know what you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
like again, so like but like if I wanted to get something in and out, I'll probably go like the auto flowering route. And with auto flowers, right? The real name is ruderalysis, and they're genetically disposed to from seed to flower within 90 to 120 days. So a good breeder for auto flowering is Mephisto genetics. So if I got some seeds from Mephisto genetics, I'll pot them in first day, and then 120 days or 90 days, 90 to 120 days, I'm chopping, I'm
Wow.
harvesting. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So like if for like new growers, I think that's the best route to go to because you're gonna get the full cycle in a shortened period of time. You know what I'm saying? And the cool thing about autos as opposed to indicas, hybrids, and sativas, you don't have to switch lights. Like ruderalysis in general, like their genetic heritage or lineage comes from like Eastern Europe. So when they're growing wildly outside, they didn't have like there's not a lot of sunlight. So their
Okay.
predisposition to say, all right, I have about this many days until I'm flipping the switch myself and I'm gonna start flowering myself. You know what I'm saying? So like, if I should accept I should have potted a couple autos in that room just so I would have some yield coming in, even though those are still in veg. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So that's kind of like, if if when and if you plan on growing, you kind of have to like plan those type of things out. Like, all right, if I'm looking for yield, well, I need to have a schedule where like I'm always cutting within a week, every 2 weeks, every month. You know what I'm saying? But me personally, that's not my. I'm not looking for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking more so what I want to use for my genetics and what I want to use to work my line. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like,
Yeah,
again,
so it's
like,
not really about convenience for you. It's about the end product that you want.
exactly, exactly, exactly.
Okay.
And like what I want to use to get the end product. You know what I'm saying? So that's a huge part, man. And like it's night and day. Like, like people that like runs and stuff. Like runs is such a
Obama
you know
runs.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like it's so mainstream, but like actually growing runs is fire. Like the genetics for the breeder the breeder who came up with that lineage did an amazing job, because it's like the genetics in itself. If you add runs to something else, like it's gonna be fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's it's honestly like it's recruiting. That's all it is. Like, you're recruiting the best. Like, all right, like if with my Soulfire, right? Soulfire is they're really known for their vigorous growth. So like, all right, if I can get that trait, that vigorous growth trait, with the frost comet that I'm growing in the other pot, like it's super trite out. Like the trichome, like the crystals, it's fucking amazing when it flowers. So if I can get the vigorous growth and I can get the trichome production with it, what do I get? I get a vigorous trichome production produced cannabis flower. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, it's you're honestly you're playing God. And it's kind of crazy to think of it that way, but that's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, your Gregor Mendel on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
so you can shape the plant how you want it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So if we have any aspiring growers out there watching, what would be some resources that you would tell them to look at?
Look into Korean natural farming, which is Master Cho, right? Hung Fu Cho, and then look into Jadam, Jadam, and those are the natural farming theories that I use. You know what I'm saying? So like, again, like, you want to look at permaculture, you want to look at no-till, you want to look into Elaine Ingram, the person who coined the professor who coined the soil food web. Like those, if you want to go into like regenerative farming, I think that's the route you want to take. So
Can you
Elaine
tell us
Ingram,
what regenerative farming is?
yeah, yeah. So again, regenerative farming, no waste. Like using everything you want to, just the most natural way that everything works. Like, like you don't see anybody working in the forest. The forest recycles itself. You know what I'm saying? Like fall time comes through, leaves fall on the ground. Well, what the leaves are doing on the ground right there, that's creating humus, right? That's humus, right? Which is that whole layer, that organic layer. So as soon as it rains down, all that organic matter is going deep into the soil, and the roots are attaching to it while with nutrients. You know what I'm saying? So again, it's all a huge recycling system. So that's exactly what I'm doing in my pot, in my garden.
Okay.
Yeah. So you want to think of like, if you go into the forest, right? That's you have everything there. If you have a forest near you, you have everything you need to grow, essentially.
So how do you ensure you don't take anything bad with you from the forest into your grow?
That's the thing. The good and bad is one. It's all a balance. You
Okay.
need the bad. You know what I'm saying? There's always a yin to yang, right? You're gonna get bad things with it. Like so, like I feel like anyone that goes like the organic route or like the more natural farming route, you're gonna see a lot of bugs, right? There's a difference though, right? Like you can have bugs, you got bugs in there. Are they attacking your plant? Right? They're only a nuisance as long as they attack your plant. If they're not attacking your plant, well, then it's kind of like, well, you're just there. You're part of the soil food web. You're helping my natural ecosystem work. You know what I'm saying? But it's only that. It's only when there's an imbalance. When you got a shit ton of bugs, then it's like, well, now they're attacking everything. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of it's you you have to kind of think of farming in a completely entirely different way. And the good and bad is literally I think it's like the hardest thing for people to conceptualize. Like, damn, like what do you mean I can figure it out? I want to bring this. This doesn't look good. I can't figure it here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's like, well, how much of it you bring it in? You know what I mean? Like, is there? You know what I mean? Like, it's just that seesaw, man.
So what are
It's a
some things
trip.
that you use to since you're a natural farmer, what are some things you use to protect the plants?
Okay, so Oriental herbal nutrients. So I kind of like I make my own tincture, my own herbal tincture, right? That LAB, which is lactic acid bacteria, which is great for leaf protection. Um, Vinegar, not distilled vinegar though, right? Like actual like homemade vinegar, or you can get like rice vinegar, brown rice vinegar, or apple cider vinegar. That also gives that your leaf that layer of protection from the bug. So if you ever see like a leaf that's too shiny,
Yeah.
right, of mine, that's like that's a lot of it from the film of the vinegar.
Okay.
So that fermented plant juices, fish amino acids, which is like a fish hydrolysate. So like, actually, I'll show you that right now. Fish hydrolysate. So this has been brewing for since 420 of last year, right here.
Whoa, that's fish?
Yeah, yeah, fish hydrolysate. And you would think, right? You would think that it smells. Doesn't smell like anything. You can't smell it.
So you said fish hydrolysis?
Yeah, fish hydrolysate. But well, it's fish amino acids, but like what you can get at stores is essentially the same thing, but it's fish hydrolysate. So all you literally do is get 1-to-1 ratio between fish and brown sugar or jaggery, right? Your unrefined sugar, and then you so kind of mix that up, right? Make sure the fish is like consuming that brown sugar. Um, some lactic acid bacteria, and then leaf mold. So like, let's say go to the forest, right, and then you see like a pile of leaves. Underneath that pile of leaves is that decomposed leaf matter, which is the leaf mold. And you sprinkle that all in there, you won't smell a thing. You will
Wow.
not smell. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. Yeah.
So you grow the bacteria as well?
Yep. With lactic acid bacteria. Yeah.
Okay, I just want to put on screen some of the pictures you sent me, and maybe you
Mm.
can explain what we're seeing.
Okay.
All right. So can you see my screen?
Mhm.
Okay. So you got this picture. What are you doing here?
Oh, I gotta see.
Can you see it?
Nah, I still see your mouse on the actual file, but I don't see the actual picture.
Okay. See that?
Yep, yep. I see those pictures.
Okay.
So
So what are you doing here?
Okay, so this right here, this was the what wasn't a loud farm event. What event was it? This was an event that I was actually speaking in. It was ran by MRCC, Massachusetts Recreational Consumer Council, and they gave us booth and stuff, and that was me just rolling up.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right. You know why I thought that was something else? Just it reminded me of this picture. I'll show you this. It looked like this was on the
Oh,
table.
yep, the
So
IMO
what is
3.
this?
So remember when I was telling you earlier about getting your indigenous microorganisms from your forest area and bringing it to you. So
Mhm.
this is the substrate that you captured in. So what's in this bin, right, is rice hulls, brown rice. Well, no, it was actually jasmine rice and wood shade, pine shade, right? You mix you mix that all together. You put in the IMO solution, which is your fermented plant juice, your vinegar, your oils and herbal nutrients, your seawater, and your humic acid. So that's the mix you put it in, and then you get that. So you dump that mixture in with your indigenous microorganisms, right? And then that fungal bloom is what you get from that. That was actually probably one of my best collections because using that, I use that right there, and then that's what you see. This is what's thriving. This is the engine that's kicking up my garden right now.
Okay.
Like this right here is kind of like the little soldiers, the little workers that's working my whole soil food web in my pots right now. So that right there is indigenous microorganism to the third power. So IMO3.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. That
That's
I'll tell you that right there. That's a rabbit hole, brother. It's not a rabbit hole, but that's something that's like like it took me like a year to get to that point. To actually get like some great fungal blooms, like for me to have the nose and the eye to see what I'm looking for. Because that's what it is. Like doing this, it's a lot of you doing. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can read all you want, but you have to like your nose is your best friend. You know what I'm saying? Like if you like I know when something's going wrong from my nose. Like, you know what I'm saying? As opposed to just looking at it, which makes all the difference.
okay.
Because your eyes can deceive you. Your nose can't deceive you.
Wow. Man,
Yeah,
you really into this thing, man. I
yeah,
can see the
yeah,
passion,
yeah.
and this is a whole nother aspect of the business. Um,
Right.
so, the, are there a lot of black farmers out there?
Um, they're out there, but not a lot. No, but they're out there.
Okay.
They're out there, but a lot, nah, man. There's not a lot, and it's crazy too, because it's like this helps. Like if you garden, right, you can never be tricked. No one can ever really bamboozle you in this industry because everything starts with the plant. And this industry is not this industry without the plant. So if you know the plant, then numbers is easy. You know what I'm saying? Like what it sounds like. Well, if I have the product, how easy is it to sell it? Easy as hell. You know the product through and through. Like I can talk to somebody and everything about what I'm growing. You know what I'm saying? Like really everything. So it's again like know your farmer, connect with your farmer, and be there with your farmer. Like learn from your farmer because that's the only way I believe for someone to really get ahead in this industry. The right way, I should say. as opposed to saying like, all right, I have a bunch of money, my money's gonna talk for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to be
Right.
smart with it. But if you know what you're doing in the garden, it's a wrap. Like, you're unstoppable.
Okay. Do you feel like the community is really welcoming?
Welcoming, let me tell. Okay, I'm gonna give you a quick story, right? I'm gonna give you a quick story about me in the traditional market, and this is me in the traditional market. This is at one of the local shows, right? And a lot of people are gonna like they. I feel like a lot of people looked at me and they instantly looked at me as just a consumer. I don't know if it was the size difference. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm 295 right now, so you know what I mean. I'm not a small guy. You know what I mean?
How tall
I
are
don't
you?
know if
6'4"?
yeah, I'm 6'3". I'm
Okay.
6'3". So you know what I'm saying? It could be that, or again, man, it's like you go to the shows and then you realize that you're the only brother there. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yeah, like you realize right then and there, it's like, oh no, there's a disconnect. There's a real disconnect. You know what I'm saying? And obviously you're gonna have the cool people, but then you're gonna have the guys that's like that are gonna press you because they don't believe. They don't believe you can do it. You know what I'm saying? They're like, nah, this ain't you. This ain't me. Like, you want to see want pictures, want videos? Like, what do you want? You know what I'm saying? Like, I can show you all that. So, it's one of those things, man. It's like it's one of those things.
Do you think it's important to get more Black people into the cultivation of cannabis and move from the consumer side?
Yeah, to me, that's the only way because in order for a person to be in this industry, like you gotta be a weatherman. You got to predict the forecast, and the forecasters will always say genetics is always the key driver to the industry. So it's like, well, if you don't get that side, at least you're a sitting duck out there. You're always going to be chasing the popular varieties, while the the smart people, not just say the smart people, but the more experienced people are cultivating their own. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, well, are you going to chase or are you going to do it yourself? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a
So
balance.
chasing
Like,
is bad because that drives up the demand and it's going to cost more.
that's it. That's it. And you're always behind. You're
Okay.
never ahead of the curve. You know what I'm saying? That's always the thing. Like, can you be ahead of the curve? Like, if you create something, right, that it doesn't blow up in a year, but it blows up in 3 years, well, is that a win? You know what I'm saying? Or as opposed to, well, I'm changing again. Like, let's go back to the run thing, right? Oh, now is when the Obama runs came through. Oh shit, I gotta grab that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to get that. Like you'll be always chasing. You can't chase. You know what I mean? You gotta take the time and really put a plan together for you to do your own thing. And again, it's hard as fuck. Don't get me wrong. It's still a long shot for you to find that special one. But let me tell you, it's you. While you're finding that special one, you're gonna find some good ones along the way. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to, you know what I'm saying? It's not like, all right, I'm throwing out all my other experiments just for this one. No, like it's always an ongoing thing. You know what I mean? So yeah,
That's interesting. So
yeah,
as a farmer, you're also integrated into the other aspects of the business.
yeah, absolutely. When it comes to like manufacturing, processing, making shatter, butter, hash, all that stuff. Everything has to go in with, again, the genetics. Like, what are you washing your stuff with? Like, you want to make hash, you want to make crumble, you want to make shatter. Well, what is the greasiest? What is the most trichome? produced cannabis flower you have, and you have to have that in stock. You have to say, well, you know what, like let's go with a classic Gorilla Glue, right? Or what else? What's a good one? Grease Monkey's a good one. Or like an ice cream cake. The iced out. Ice cream cake is iced out. That is a process and dream right there. Like yeah, you're eternally wild on that every single time. Well, you wouldn't know that if you didn't know your genetics. Like you don't want to spend your time. You don't want to waste all. You don't want to waste pounds and pounds and pounds or whatever you have on washing something into creating a concentrate when it's not gonna yield as well. You know what I'm saying? Like those are the things you gotta know. You gotta know what yields it. Like where it's like it's easy to spot someone that doesn't know what they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
yeah, oh you're gonna wash that? Like bro, like you sure? Like what I say, like yo, I don't know if that's the smartest thing, man. That's not the best bang for your buck. You might as well just what I'm saying, just trim it and sell it, and and get rid of it as as regular flour. And again, I'm talking about the regulated market. I'm not talking about traditional market. I'm talking about regulated market stuff. Like you're not gonna want to waste product. You're not gonna want to waste your. It's really wasting your time. You know what I'm saying? Again, like you spend months growing this thing, and then you send it to somebody to make you concentrate, and you come back with so little, and you're like, damn, I should have fucking sold that. I should have sold that per gram. You know what I'm saying? I'd make so much more money back. So
Okay.
again, that's what I'm saying. So that's your farmer going into that businessman type thing. Those are the decisions that only the grower can do. You know what I'm saying? Because he, like the grower knows, or the notes from the grower is going to tell you which one to, what to do with what plant.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I don't know if I confused you or not, but
No, not at all, man. You definitely
uh,
explained and made it easy for me. And I feel like anyone watching will understand that the different plants have different profiles and they produce
yeah,
different trichomes. Some of them are sticky and some of them are not. So you can make different products with each
right.
one. Some of them might be better to smoke. Some of them might be better to make concentrates with. So
Yep.
I get that. Uh, so as the grower, you're constantly sampling as well. So you'll kind of know what's good and what's not.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But the crazy thing is too, not all growers smoke.
Okay.
I know some killer bro. I know some killer motherfuckers that don't burn their own bud. But let me tell you, when this shit's ready, first in line, boy. What's up? What you got? Because I know what you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
know I know some killers, boy. I know some killers. But again, it's but with them, it's they have such a keen eye in the actual growing phase. You know what I'm saying? Like some people, man, have just a special gift when it comes to like when they talk about green thumbs. Yeah, like there's a difference between having a green thumb and a gold thumb. You know what I'm saying? That gold thumb is gonna they know what the winners are. You know what I'm saying? And they'll always get the winners. You know what I'm saying? So nah, you know what it is? It's fun to me, just like anything, I love to learn. Like you know what I'm saying? And it's fun. Like I feel like with growing in itself, just because there's so many avenues to go, this like this non-stop learning. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, if I would, even like even from like 30 years from now, I would never consider myself a master farmer. Never, 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 never. The only reason why is because the only master farmer, the only master cultivator is Mother Nature. Like, that's the only one that has not gone wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like like if you leave an area alone, you better believe it's gonna thrive. You know what I'm saying? That's a master. There's always room for everything. You know what I'm saying? No matter how good I get. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of you have to kind of go into it knowing you can fail. Knowing you will fail at some point in time. You know what I'm saying? But you'll learn. You know what I mean? So it's that growth mindset that you kind of have to have. And if you don't have it, man, it's like it's a job. If you don't have a growth mindset in cultivating, I feel like in cultivating anything, it turns into a job as opposed to what I do. What can I tweak on? What happens? You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So, yeah.
What are some of the worst things that can happen to you as a farmer?
Your crop dying. You waking up one day and then all of a sudden everything just looks sad and you're like, yo, what just happened? Then it's kind of like you have to backtrack, like, all right, what I feed it? All right, did I test the water? You know what I'm saying? Like, what did my ventilation system get fucked up? Did the lights go off? You know what I'm saying? The whole night, and like it was a night of darkness. Like this shit, like what is my soil getting more bacterially dominated as opposed to fungally dominated? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's when shit goes wrong, you really backtrack. You're like, well, what the fuck happened? You know what I'm saying? And that's pressure time, boy. That's the you gotta figure out. You have to figure out a solution quick. But yeah.
So
or if your whole crop gets seeded, like, you know what I'm saying? Like you left a male out. Like, obviously, like if you want to get seedless cannabis, you need to get rid of all the males, right? But if all of a sudden you look into it, you're like, oh my god, is that seed? And then you look into all your plants, like, fuck, everything got seeded. And then you see that one male that fucking in the cut just pimps out all the hoes, pimps everybody out. They're like, damn, now I got. You know what I'm saying? It's cool because you're like, all right, well, I guess I have stock to work with. But if you had something else planned with those plants, you're set. Like, there's people in Oregon, there's growers in Oregon, farmers in Oregon, like suicide rate has gone up just because like outdoor cultivation, like a lot of hemp farms are coming up, and a lot of the hemp farmers, I shouldn't say just hemp farmers, but a lot of farmers aren't really being diligent in taking out the males. And outside, that pollen from males can travel miles. So all of a sudden, 5 miles away, you know what I'm saying, is the next farm, and next thing you know, you go outside, all your whole crop is seeded. Now you have acres and acres and acres of fucking plants seeded. What are you supposed to do now?
So farmers are killing themselves because of this.
Know that. Wow. Oh, it gets real. That's what I'm saying. Like, this industry, it gets real. Oh yeah, and it's crazy that no one's even talking about that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy because that's a real thing. Because it's like, like if you put all your chicken, obviously you don't want to put all your chicken in one bucket, but it's some people, some people do. Sometimes right. You have to. And it's like, you telling me my next door neighbor that's fucking 5 miles away from me got my shit seeded? I'm tripping.
Oh. So are there companies like Monsanto trying to solve those problems?
Yeah, I know that they're trying to, like, synthetically, you know what I'm saying, make, certain varieties and stuff, and again, that's another rabbit hole, man, because that right there, it's like, again, you gotta save your genetic material. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's when, like, all right, my stock just went up. You feel me? When that happens, like, local breeders and breeders that have been doing this for a while, like your third generation farmers, your fourth generation farmers that have been holding lines for generations, oh, that stock is up. You want to talk about $500 for a 5-pack? Let's bump that bitch up to $1,000 rack for a 5-pack. Just especially when, like, the synthetic varieties start to come out.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, it's like,
we could definitely have another conversation about that. So if somebody wants to become a farmer, is it easy to do?
You got, it all starts with just doing it. Like, that's the best. You're gonna fuck up. It's cool, but the quicker you start is the quicker you learn.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And again, it's like, I feel like when it comes to, like, just start with one plant, one small ass light. You know what I'm saying? Like a 2x2 tent. You know what I'm saying? Something that's like, something super small. Yeah, you good. Now you're
So you don't
learning.
need a lot of money.
Nah, nah. Or just do it outside. If you have the space, if you have the privacy, yeah, just throw some outside and just work with it. See how it
Okay.
goes.
So I'm from Pennsylvania, Philly, and I
Mm-hmm.
lived in Jersey, and Jersey just became legal, but I don't think you can grow. What are the
Nah, you
laws
can't
like
grow.
in Massachusetts?
Well, with Mass, you're up to 12 per household if you don't have a medical card. If you have a medical card, they just revised the regulations, so now it's 12 flower, 12 veg. So now you have 24 plants in total. But
Okay.
at the same time, right? If you are a caregiver, right? If so let's say um, Grandma Charlotte, right? She has a medical card, and she wants you to be her caregiver. So she wants you to provide her with cannabis. You can grow up to a 500 square foot canopy, which is crazy. This rule kind of like kind of shook everything up. You can grow up to 500 square foot canopy specifically for Grandma Charlotte. And now
Okay.
again, 500 square feet. Now you're talking about, that's way bigger than the room I have there. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, yeah.
Yeah, that's
So,
a
like, Massachusetts, I will give it up to Mass when it comes to that. Like the growing rights is definitely premier. Even though I don't think there should be any limit, but that's another conversation.
okay. What are some of the problems of not being able to grow, like in Jersey?
You're a slave to the man. Simple as that. You're a slave to the man. And then now again, the prohibition never ended because now you're saying, all right, well, I'm like, you guys are selling eights for fucking $80. Whoa, whoa, you know what I'm saying? My man over here gave me a quarter for 70. Why am I getting the eight from you? And now it's like, all right, if I get the quarter from my man, now we might get in trouble. You're a slave to the man.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Or you're a slave. I should say the man. You're a slave to the dispensary, which is crazy. But again, I think, especially in Jersey, the fact that you can grow, traditional market is the traditional market is still going to be the money maker. Just
Okay.
just for that reason. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to, you know what I mean? Like I feel like if you kind of make it a free market, everything will balance itself out. But again, that's another conversation.
Right. Well, Viondy, man, it was really great talking to you, man. You're a Renaissance man, chess playing, athlete,
Oh yeah.
cannabis grower, farmer, businessman. Where can we find you online?
So online, you could check out the page. It's at the Green Torch One. So
Okay.
at the
Is that
Green Torch
number
One, and
one or
yeah,
one
yeah,
spelled out?
the number one. So
Okay.
at the Green Torch One, and on Facebook it's just the Green Torch.
Got
And
you.
then obviously you go online too. It's thegreentorch.com. So
Okay.
online, thegreentorch.com, Instagram, the Green Torch One, Facebook, the Green Torch.
Great. So we'll put that in the description, and you guys make sure you go check out the Green Torch. Again, this was Weed Jobs with Viondy Merisma. Thanks again for coming, and make sure that you guys like this video.
My man. Cheers, brother.
Peace.